Welcome to the presentation on power, conflict, and love. I'm going to tell you a secret, and this secret, when you accept it, absorb it, take it in, it will change everything. And the deeper you take it in, the more it guides how you see things, the easier life will be with your teenage son. The secret is, he's trying to grow into a young man. Now, generally, grown-ups view teenage boys as problems, and certainly that view is easily argued and defended. It just happens to be that his problem activities are a symptom, a ruse, a distraction, a symbolic representation of something greater, deeper, more fundamental, more important. What I'm telling you is that when trouble occurs between he and you, especially when he starts it, there's one action happening, but with different levels of meaning and purpose. The first is the surface level, and the most obvious is he's trying to get you. And that's the truth. He is trying to get you. But secondly, and hidden by the first, is he's trying to grow into a young man and needs your help to do it. And the second is more powerful, way more powerful than the first, because it is what he is developmentally ready for. And he absolutely needs your help to accomplish it. We want them to mature, but we make the mistake of believing and assuming he will mature naturally just by the passage of time. That is not going to happen. Now, I'm going to demonstrate this truth through the marvel of power, conflict, and love. This is the foundation of everything with teenage boys. Why? Because for a teenage boy, everything is about power. Firstly, growth has stages of development. What he's learned at one stage of development is meant to be absorbed into the next higher stage of development, and we call this maturing. This is a developmental process for his parents and really all of the grown-ups to be engaged in. As far as he's concerned, you have all the power. Why? Because you control all the things he uses and can punish him. He can't punish you. Generally, parents feel like he has all the power because he can drive you crazy, because you can't get him to do what you want, because he won't listen to you. Conflict is seen similarly. You're both trying to win by getting the other to change, to get you to do something. He wants to get his point across, get you to admit you're wrong, get his way. You want him to obey, do what you want him to do, listen to you. So this is the scenario. Each of you feels the other has all the power and is trying to win and get the other to change. It's an absolute and complete failure. This is the form of love, mutual battles. And all of this comes out of our beliefs, our deep beliefs, the general conventional views of power, conflict, and love. We generally think of power as the ability to control and dominate a person, place, or event. It's measured subjectively. I've got power, he doesn't. I got it, you don't. And in game theory, it's a zero-sum game. This is what we believe. This is how we think. This is how we act. This is what is real. To exercise power is to exercise control and domination. We view conflict as a contest with a winner and a loser. When there's a conflict, I want to win, and I want you to lose. And you want the same thing. You want to win, and you want me to lose. This truth about conflict in this model is that we can't both win. So how does the loser feel? Bad. And what's the loser going to do? The loser is going to get revenge. This is what we believe. This is how we think. This is how we act. This is what is real, and it does not work successfully in family relations. You already know that. We generally view love as a strong affection for another. And we show this affection through caring, kindness, compassion, trying to be good and nice. And in the face of power and conflict, as we know them, we feel this love goes right out the window, and we're transformed, all of us, into monsters. The boys are dragons, and we, in trying to slay them, become evil monsters, our ugly selves, who feel no love towards them whatsoever. When our buttons get pushed, we light right up, and we're angry at them for pushing our buttons, and we're angry at ourselves for blowing up, and feel guilty because we should be able to do it better. This is what we believe. This is how we think. This is how we act. This is what is real, and it is not working. Your boy is ready for something new and different to take place, and so are you. The different is based on this fact. Your son is trying to grow into a young man. It is a developmental process he's biologically ready for. He's ready for a different model of power, conflict, and love. And he's waiting for the grown-up world to present it to him so he can interact with it and develop it into himself. Power is the embodied sense and experience of your own authority and the ability to act from it. We commonly call this confidence and identity. It has no basis in control over another human being. Zero. Its basis is in personal authority and managing and directing one's own actions. Conflict is when two or more forces or energies converge, creating the opportunity for something new and different to take place. This is the hidden creative potential in conflict. It's necessary for development and growth to occur. The opportunity is engaged by how we exercise power. Love is the deeper, inclusive affection and care for all parties involved. The deeper care to meet his need for development through demonstrating your own maturity and integrity. To not be fooled by his games, to not be seduced or drawn into his games, to not be reduced to adolescent behavior yourself. Here's a little demonstration of what I'm talking about. This is from the 8th Annual Midwest Fathers Conference in Detroit, Michigan. Can I borrow you for a minute, William? Yeah. Just take a second. Well, yeah, come on right here. Let me show you what I mean, and I'll go back to the voice.
He's going to throw me down.
No. I do want you to grab my wrist.
Only do that.
Okay. And put your left foot back just a little bit so you're a little balanced, and I got to make sure I'm crashing this table. Okay. So William's grabbed my wrist. A little tighter, please. So we got some. A little tighter. Attaboy. So he's done this. He's grabbing. So I go like, feel what I'm pulling back, and what is William doing? He's locking down, right? He's got me. I don't want him to have me. So I pull this way. What do you feel like doing, William, when I pull? What's your net? That's right. Do it. Go ahead. No one's going to get hurt. We're just going to have some fun. So he pulls me. I don't want him to pull me. So I pull back this way. What do you want to do, William? Right. So I'm going to pull this way. This is your typical argument, like this. And this is, I don't want to lose, and I'm doing the pulling away, the fleeing part of fight, flee, because it's much better to demonstrate this way than me coming in and punching. We don't need to do that, because grab. So this is the back and forth. What they're looking for is this, when they hit 14. Grab me so you meet like you're going to hold. Don't pull them. Just lock me down right there. Right. He's got me locked real tight. See my hand getting red? If I tighten my hand up, you tightened up. The instant all I did was close my hand. And that communicated to him, non-verbally, resistance. Resistance to his force. You all know basic physics. If there's resistance to force, what do you get? More force. Now, every 8-year-old boy knows this. When they hit 13 and 14, there's nothing more to learn from this. So they just keep playing to see if you'll dance their dance with them. Lockdown, right there. What they're looking is this. I'm not hurting you, am I? I'm not. The heat will let go. In what direction am I facing? I wonder what's going on with William. He's grabbing my wrist. This
is a physical demonstration of win-win. Now everybody says, yeah, what if he turns around and tries to punch you in the face? You know, or something like that. The fundamental doesn't change because what happened, let me have you for a moment a second. What's going on here is when he grabs me, the instant I do this, in the real world of boys, he's won, I've lost. You see how you're nodding your head?
Yeah.
He's won because he got the reaction. He's won because he got the reaction, he's got the resistance. He goes, oh, I got Browdy.
Does that look familiar to you? This is what's happening with you and your boys. It doesn't matter who starts it. It's a win-lose game because you're both trying to win and it goes on indefinitely. Battles won, battles lost, the war continues. And the truth is, you've lost the instant it begins. Now, I urge you to watch this little demonstration repeatedly, over and over again, more than to see it, to get the real feel for the experience of how it depicts what happens with teenage boys. Right now, I want you to look at some particular parts. The first clip from the demonstration is to show how we get caught up in a win-lose game that he's known and understood since he was a little boy.
He's grabbing, so I go like, feel what he, I'm pulling back, and what is William doing? He's locking down, right? He's got me, I don't want him to have me, so I pull this way. What do you feel like doing, William, when I pull? What's your net? That's right, do it. Go ahead. No one's going to get hurt. We're just going to have some fun. So he pulls me, I don't want him to pull me, so I pull back this way. What do you want to do, William? Right, so I'm going to pull this way. This is your typical argument.
Now it's in the form of let's fight or let's argue. It's both fun for him and scary. Fun because he's used to it. He wins, you lose. It's scary because the grown-ups don't behave any more mature than he does. I can't tell you how many times a boy has said to me, they're not acting any more mature than me. And that scares them because he goes, I'm 14 years old and they're acting like they're 14 years old. This is it? This is the last bus stop in maturity? It scares them right down to their core. And he'll keep playing it until you stop and set up a different game. What grown-ups do not understand is that as far as the boy is concerned, you've lost the instant some kind of force, some kind of reacting emotionally to get him to do something is used. You'll see this in the next clip from the demonstration.
Don't pull them, just lock me down right there. Right, he's got me locked real tight. See my hand getting red? If I tighten my hand up, you tightened up. The instant all I did was close my hand. And that communicated to him, non-verbally, resistance. Resistance to his force. You all know basic physics. If there's resistance to force, what do you get? More force. Now, every 8-year-old boy knows this. When they hit 13 and 14, there's nothing more to learn from this. So they just keep playing to see if you'll dance their dance with them. Lockdown, right there. What they're looking is this.
What is lost is your own confidence, your own center of gravity, your own embodied sense of yourself. It's been given over to the dragon in the reaction. You notice I remarked to the volunteer in the clip that he naturally nodded his head when I said, in the real world of boys,
he's won, I've lost.
Because he got the reaction. Because as a boy, even as a grown-up, this guy recognized the truth of what I was saying. Your mind is under his control when you play win-lose games with him, when you try to get him to do something.
So the instant I go like that, I've communicated my losing. Because what I've lost is my own center of gravity, my own confidence, I'm reacting. William's got my wrist, I got to get away. My brain is there.
What is invisible is your mind, your awareness, your attention. They're all focused on the wrist grab, on his actions, on his agenda. When you go, oh my God, which amounts to pushing your buttons, that is where your mind goes. And it goes to him, and he's got you. How does he know so easily? Boys live in their bodies. They're very sensitive to physical space and acutely aware of touch, and have observed you for their whole lives. In this next clip, you'll understand it takes almost nothing for him to know what is going on within you.
The instant I do this, in the real world of boys, he's one I've lost. You see how you're nodding your head?
Yeah.
He's won because he got the reaction. He's won because he got the reaction, he's got the resistance. He goes, oh, I got rowdy.
It's very subtle. The sense of resistance to his force results in two things: more force, and he's won. By the time he's 14 years old, or really even younger, he's ready for something new and different to happen. He's ready for what happens in this next clip.
When they hit 13 and 14, there's nothing more to learn from this. So they just keep playing to see if you'll dance their dance with them. Lockdown, right there. What they're looking is this. I'm not hurting you, am I? I'm not. The heat will let go. In what direction am I facing? I wonder what's going on with William. He's grabbing my wrist.
Every time I do this with a boy, he's amazed and says, "How do you do that?" and wants to learn how. Developmentally, he's ready to learn how to play win-win, to move along the developmental path into young manhood. It requires interactions with real adults that model and pattern the practice. And every time I demonstrate this with adults, they get it. They recognize it immediately because you're ready for something different, because the win-lose game of I'm in control and other versions of it do not work, and they will not work. This final clip demonstrates what does work.
Same grab, nice and tight, but I'm not resisting, I'm nice and relaxed. My center of gravity stays here, so I move to a position from my center of gravity where I'm lined up with William now. He lets go. I'm not jerking my hand out, nothing. He just simply releases because it's a better solution.
You can do this too. There is nothing really mysterious or magical about it. How you see it is everything. It requires accepting the fact that your boy is trying to develop into a young man. He needs grown-ups to engage with him in actions that model and demonstrate how to behave as an adult. He's using the vehicle of conflict to make this need known. Accepting that, parenting him during this phase of his life requires developing and practicing the understanding that power is the embodied sense and experience of your own authority and the ability to act from it. Conflict is when two or more forces or energies converge, creating the opportunity for something new and different to take place. And love is the deeper, inclusive affection and care for all parties involved, and the deeper care to meet his need for development through demonstrating your own maturity and integrity. He only knows how to play win-lose games. That's all he's supposed to know at this point. But he's ready to move on to a deeper, truer, more mature experience of power, conflict, and love. One way beyond win-lose. He cannot do it by himself. He has all the potential. It requires interaction with real adults for context, modeling, and experience for him to develop it. Remember, your boy is trying to grow and develop into a young man. You love him. He's asking for your help in getting him there. In the next video, Putting It into Practice, you'll learn how to act, how to speak, and what to say so real change can occur.